Kick the camera, ready to start it. Do 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 ba ba. Chicka da ba ba da da ba ba ba. Ow! Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome to the Galactic Seabass Podcast. Hey, how you doing? Oh, that's a great way to start. My name is Sebastian. Nice to meet you. Welcome to my channel. And I've been making these for a long time now. Hello, this is podcast number 51 with me. Hey, I'm Sebastian. My friends call me Seabass. You're more than welcome to as well. This is episode 51 of the Galactic Seabass Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, my name is Sebastian, your host now, forever, and always. My computer is loud. It's like a fan in the middle of summer on a hot Alabama day right now. Oh boy, here we go. We are live. We are here. We are doing this. Hello, welcome to the Galactic Seabass channel. It is 4 in the morning here on Friday, April 19th, 2024. I know this is a Thursday only podcast. However, it's Friday and I was awake on Thursday. It was a very busy day. And now we are here making this for you. We are here. We are live. Boy, oh boy, it's been one of those days where, you know, you just keep going and you try to do everything you can to make sure things go in the way that you want them to. And sometimes that's just not the case. You know, you wake up and you have this idea of how today's going to go. And then the more the day goes on, you realize, well, I guess today's not going that way. Today's been one of those days from the very beginning. So, and it's one of those things, you know, you do what you can. You put in the work and try to make it out alive. And tonight, we did just that. We did end up doing 2 comedy sets tonight over at Quantum Brewing and over at Mic Drop Comedy Club. That was a super fun occasion. So in theory, we can check our little Bible right here, find out what number we're on and the exact specifics. Maybe even write down a little jot, make sure we know where we are. Wow, that's crazy. So number 487. Number 487, as far as comedy sets go, went down on 4/18 at Quantum with a U Brewing. And that would mean number 488. Holy cow. We are really making headway here. Went down on the same day over in the Gold Room over at Mic Drop. Oh, that was cool. That means the next time we go up, we'll be number 489. That is so crazy. That means we're 11 sets away from 500 comedy sets. That is so nuts. Put in so much work over the years. Oh, has it really amounted to anything? Who knows? All I know is that I've learned to be funnier on stage than the day I started. For sure, I went back and reviewed a couple of my sets from early on in my personal algorithm where, you know, I can go to my audio little recordings and see the set I just did, or I can go back and listen to set number 3, which is the earliest one I have, and it's so bad comparatively. So if there's something that you love to do and you're not very good at it, just keep doing it, because by golly, you might just be better at it in the future. You just got to keep going. There's a great book called Art and Fear, which really reiterates on this subject, you know, very heavily, and just goes to show that the number one reason that artists don't flourish in their own medium is because they put down the paintbrush, metaphorically, whatever that means to you. Whatever your medium is, just don't stop. You have to just keep going, pursue it, keep at it, and eventually you'll make it one day. You know, it's kind of how I feel making these episodes. You know, right now it's 4 in the morning. It's about 7 a.m. on the East Coast, and very dark and lonely here on the West Coast right now. So we're here, we're making videos. Maybe one day I'll be able to look back on these and just go, oh wow, can't believe we really did that at that point in time. There's so many things on the agenda right now as far as what we have to do. So I just want to make sure that we go ahead and get this done. Say hi to all my friends and family and loved ones over on the internet, and let's go ahead and get into today. It was a good one. Like I said, well, I know I didn't really say that because I said it was a bad day for the most part. I woke up and I found a coin in my pocket and I dropped it and it rolled under the fridge and there was no way to find it. And then a few other things happened along the way after that that just kept going irrationally, radically wrong. And it's all good. So we just kept going and pushed through and eventually went over and we did a set at Quantum Brewing, which was pretty fun. Maybe one real audience member, not a bunch of comedians in the audience, and that was kind of fun. You got to riff through some new stuff and figure out a couple new lines to try to work on. Ollie wants to be in the podcast, it looks like. He always wants to be a part of a little something. Hey, buddy, I love you. Hey, that's right. Go drink. Drink water. Good boy. That's my little doggy Ollie boy. And yeah, it was cool. Whenever, did the set, I've had quite a few little events over there. Aaron Trahan, the guy who runs it, was my first boss when it comes to comedy. I was a fry cook over at the Madhouse Comedy Club when I first started this little shindig of a career. And yeah, I mean, he's quite a character. Anybody that knows Aaron knows that he's a really fantastic individual and loves comedy to the core, and I'm very grateful to be his buddy. So we just did a podcast a few weeks ago called Comedy or Worse. I believe I was episode 30. If you'd like to go look that up and just check that out, Comedy or Worse with Seabass, and that's me. So go ahead and check that to see all the things that I probably said on here throughout the episodes in one little hour all put together. It's kind of fun. Right before we started this video, I was going to start it right when I got home earlier, and then I watched this movie. It was so bad, but I watched the whole thing, and because that's the kind of person I am. Anyway, it was called Surfer, Dude, with Matthew McConaughey. Came out in 2008, and I hope it was in 2008 before my dad died, because I hope he never had to watch that movie. It was so bad. It was all about surfing, and the only surf parts were the beginning. They surfed, and then it's an hour, 30-minute movie. So there's 5 minutes of surfing, and then 80 minutes of not surfing, and then 5 more minutes of surfing. And then at the end, he tries to surf again, and he just breaks it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm not even saying spoiler alert. This movie is awful. I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10. That was pretty bad. Matthew, I expected better. At the same time, surfers, are they really capable of writing a prolific script? Capable of producing emotions only inoculated through wordplay along the lines of Shakespearean descent? Probably not, brah. Stupid. All right. So last week we had our friend Corey Ryan on the podcast. That was so much fun to have him. Thank you again to Corey for stopping by. Today we were supposed to have a special guest, and I have a whole bunch of stuff written down for them. However, they are not here, and it's 4 a.m, so nobody's really cognitive except for me. And I have a whole bunch of stuff that I would like to go over myself. However, it's mostly just movies that I sort of watched this week. At the same time, I'd really like to go ahead and reiterate to everybody watching this episode, I am very tired and sleepy, which are synonyms. At the same time, the second this video ends, I am hopping into bed, calling it a night, and we're going to put a wrap on tonight. So, now that I said that, I realized I forgot a very major point in the ensemble that you see before you. So, tonight, I did a set at Mic Drop Comedy Club. However, before that happened, I did the quantum, and then I went over. So you sign up for mic drop at 9:30. Quantum ended at about 9. So I got there at maybe 9:05, 9:10. I'm the only guy outside of the back end of the venue, the back exit. And, excuse me, I could hear the headliner doing their thing behind the glass. So I stood by the door trying to get a good ear. And then my buddy showed up, so we started moving around. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I don't know what the bit was or what he was doing, but this dude charged the door and just shoulder checked it, and it flew open. Had I been standing where I was, I would have got smashed with this big metal glass door. And that wasn't the case. I just went, ooh, and then I'm standing outside just waiting, and I can see the guy wearing this coat. It's this blue corduroy Letterman. It's awesome. And I just think to myself, man, that's a really cool coat. I could care less about how his jokes went that night. I could hear the audience laughing every 30 seconds, so probably more than that. His laughs per minute were pretty good. So anyway, he's taking pictures with all these people, and then we lock eyes, and I go like, and he gives me something back along the same thing, and I just tell him, man, that's a really cool coat. I've never seen a corduroy Letterman. And he goes, I'm not doing this as suavely at all in any regard. Hold on. Wow, this is not working. Oh. Anyway, he goes, you want it? And I'm just thinking, yeah, I really would. That'd be awesome. And he goes, cool, here, take it. I already got my clip for the video. I don't need it anymore. I don't know, man. I just, I'll try to show you all the parts of it that I can. This thing is so cool. Where's this thing? Look. The detail. I don't know, man. That was the coolest thing I've maybe had anybody ever do for me. And it just goes to prove my point that black people will always be cooler than white people. Prove me wrong in the comments below. Drop a link. What's cooler than that? I don't know. I don't even know where to go from there. It was just a really cool moment. I'm sorry I made it about race, but the dude had fresh style and just gave up his coat. I've never even had the thought cross my mind. Someone says, hey, cool jacket. Oh, here you go. I don't know. I'm not really sure what was going through his head. Did he regret it? Wow. That was cool. Anyway, his name is Dean Gonzalez. If you want to give him a follow on social media, Dean_Gonzalez. And the last E is a 3. So that was really cool. Thank you so much, man. I look forward to hearing an actual routine of yours one day. That was a very interesting way to meet an individual. And also, I threw it on pretty much immediately after, so I could smell his sweat and his cologne, which neither of which were that bad. I'm straight. Anyway, on to our movies for the week. All right, so there's a lot of movies that we kind of watch in between, from last week with Corey that we didn't get to really talk about into this week. Now, just to start it off with how we're going today, I feel like this is really important to just kind of skip all these first ones and just go right to it. Okay, we watched the Fallout series on Amazon Prime, available right now. Now, personally, I never played the games. I remember trying to play New Vegas once for a couple hours. I could not figure it out at all, gave up entirely, and moved along with, the gaming hemisphere of what existed at the time, whether it was Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops. Anyway, That's cool. Anyway, Fallout was pretty big with my brothers. I didn't really understand it. Now, I was able to follow the series very clearly, have a really fun time watching it, enjoy all the tropes, and I feel as though the media heads would have, or the gamers who really enjoyed this period of game time would have a good time with it, because I've seen so many renditions of games over the years, whether it was Dragon Ball Z, not a game but a show, terrible. Avatar, terrible. The Witcher, pretty good. This one, pretty good. They did justice. I would love to see a BioShock film, by the way. That would be... I'd love to see a BioShock series or film. I think that was my favorite game series of all time. That was awesome. I never played Infinite, just for all the nerds out there, but the first two were sick. I think the idea of that, of Rapture in a cinematic format, could be really fantastic. And also, I've really been thinking about the word cinephile. I feel as though we need a new word for people that are really into movies that doesn't sound really close to the P word. I just like movies. I don't want to have to use the word file in it. You know, you got case file, that one, and cinephile. It seems as it just throws it in this bag. It doesn't really need to be there. And with that being said, I love movies, so I watched a lot this week. Anyway, let's get into it. The first one was okay. It was, there's a good... Did we go over this already? No, we didn't. Okay, we watched The Witch, right? Oh, yeah. I thought it was The Witcher. I just said that. So it's The Witch, but it looks like two V's in the logo. It was Vin Diesel, I believe, and he plays this old sort of... Now that I watched Fallout, it's very similar to the idea of a ghoul. Somebody that sort of just walks the earth forever and doesn't die. However, it's cool. They just fought. It's this old dude trying to kill this old lady, and like if she dies, you die. Very Harry Potter like. So it was all right. 6 out of 10 for The Witch. Just go watch Fast and the Furious, the first one. Again, that'll be way better. Next one was Hotel Artemis. Hotel Artemis. Pretty cool. This one, if I can remember correctly, was about a dystopian society in the very near future where crime is pretty much rampant, and there's certain safe havens throughout the U.S., one of them being this hotel in Los Angeles where if you get shot or, blah, 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 you can come get fixed up, provide safety for the evening for an extensive amount of money. And then it's just about a spy gets in and breaks the whole wall of security. However, Ray Batista and Jeff Goldblum are in this one. So much fun to watch. At the time I gave it a 9 out of 10. I want to give it an 8.5 out of 10 right now, because I don't remember it being that great. However, it was a fun watch. I really enjoyed it. Hotel Artemis. Go ahead and check it out. Next one was the SpongeBob movie. Obviously not my first time watching this, as I am a goofy, goober, yeah. And it was really fun, honestly. As a diehard SpongeBob fan, from somebody who witnessed the very first episode ever being aired live ever, I've seen it all. And as a child, SpongeBob was so much fun to, watch and just enjoy, laugh, react to these silly moments happening between him and his gang. And then as I grew up and rewatched the show, I realized I am very much like SpongeBob, just this goofy dude who wants to be positive even when things around him seem rather negative. no matter what the circumstance, always try to have this idealistic personality and heart about whatever it is you're going about. And yeah, it's a wild one. Go rewatch the first episode. The first episode is him getting the job that he's more than qualified for and has to work really hard for. And then the second part of the first one is him going on a date with Sandy. And he is so reluctant to tell her that he's uncomfortable in her little dome that he almost dies of whatever the opposite of drowning is. If a fish goes to air, I don't know what he almost dies of suffocation. And then he goes, I need it. It's just, I never realized as a kid watching that he's going on a date. He brings her flowers, and he's nervous, and he gets there, and they're having this great day, and then luckily Patrick shows up and saves him. But I mean, yeah, it's just this little camaraderie show. And Squidward is who a lot of us have become. He seems like such a grumpy pants when you watch it, and you grow up and you just realize, like, oh yeah, this dude hates his job, doesn't want to be there, his neighbors are goofballs, and he just wants to live in peace. Plays clarinet all badly. But yeah, it's just, the way it goes. So it's nice every once in a while when Squidward gets down with the crew. I always like those. Shout out to Bikini Bottom. Appreciate you. You raised me, whether or not you like it. That was fun. Do a little sip here. Now, a few months ago, I went to a metal show. I went to go see Death Clock with a couple of buddies of mine. And what I didn't know is that Death Clock was opening up for Baby Metal. And we left right after Death Clock. And then thought to ourselves, why are we the only people leaving the theater? This doesn't make any sense. It wasn't even a theater, it was a giant stadium. And we left and then realized Baby Metal was playing right after, so we never saw them. However, the other day I watched this movie called Army of the Doomstar, which is a feature-length Metalocalypse film, and I had a great time. I had a really wonderful time watching that. I really think that was a lot of fun. And I gave that an 8.777 out of 10. That was a good one. Keep in mind, I may or may not have been under the influence of psilocybin. However, fantastic visuals and effects and music, and the band was great live, and it was kind of cool. It's the only band I've ever seen live with no spotlights, because it's all supposed to just emphasize the fact they're cartoon characters, but they're real people playing. So that was a fun one. Army of the Doomstar. Go check that out. And I followed that with a movie that I don't really know how to describe. So I told you what I was hanging on. Some cow poop grew in a field, and then some things grew on that cow poop, and you ate them. That's I could probably just say it. I don't even know why I'm just tired. I was eating mushrooms and I watched this movie. It was called EO. EO. Now, it's on HBO Max, I believe, and it's not rated. It said it was about a donkey who travels through Europe and has a series of adventures. This was one of the most visually striking films I've ever seen in my life. It was it had less dialogue than Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first Terminator. And wow, that was one for the books. I don't even know how to describe it. There's no describing it. I just highly recommend, if you find yourself on the verge of the ethereal plane of existence one night and you need something to watch, Maybe throw in old EO. EO. Very easy to spell. It's 2 letters. I don't even know. I gave it a rating. Let's see what I put. I gave it an 8 out of 10 as far as like a normal movie. Even without the dialogue and the main character being a real donkey. Like just a straight up donkey. He doesn't talk. It's not like Shrek. Like, we're making waffles. Like, it's just. He's a donkey. So 8 out of 10 normally. As far as the ethereal realm, I gave it an 11 out of 9. So you do with that what you will. And right before we binged Fallout, I believe I had to start and finish this. And it was just, I'll start a movie, and then I'll fall asleep, and then in the morning I'll finish the rest of it from wherever I was. What's weird is some apps don't tell you which movies that you recently watched. You have to really put in some brain power to go back and find it. I think Netflix or Prime, they'll say watch it again. But Max, you have to, if you fall asleep to a movie, you better damn well remember what movie it was. Because it's on you at that, point. Speaking of burping, we tonight had a chicken parmesan sandwich. For the first time in maybe 10 years. When I was a little kid, maybe like early teenager, I would go to this place in Bethel, Connecticut with my dad, and we'd get these chicken parmesan grinders. And they were so good. And tonight gave me a slight reminiscent feeling about that. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Burger Kook. They can cater for $1,500. You can do a 50-person meal. I believe. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. If you say Galactic Seabass sent you over to Burger Kook here in San Diego, the world's second best burger, because Hodad's is the quote-unquote world's best burger. Anyway, go ahead and give them a shout-out at Burger Kook. So, thank you for giving me a chicken parmesan sandwich and a taste of my childhood tonight. That was really kind. Thank you very much. So anyway, before we got into the whole Fallout series, we watched Screwed again for the umpteenth time. So much fun to watch. Norm Macdonald, Dave Chappelle, and Danny DeVito. Just in this beautiful little stupid buddy cop comedy drama. It's so ridiculous, the whole thing. It's almost like Norm is the worst actor of all time, but it's just, he's good at it somehow too. It's so much fun to sit there and just, oh my gosh, there's so many dumb parts of it. And you have the early Chappelle from season 2 era, the Chappelle Show. Somebody earlier, I think I was talking to Savion Ware about somebody who doesn't like the Chappelle Show, and I said, blasphemy. And he said, you just better wait to use the word blasphemy around somebody like me. And I just said, no, I just wanted to use the word because I associate blasphemy with Dave Chappelle. I associate it with early SNL, with In Living Color. You can't talk smack about these things. They were perfection in their era. I realized that everything I just named was a sketch comedy show, but they really were perfect for their time. There's no way to go back and do them better or worse or in any other way. It's just, that's what exists, and that's the world we live in. So, wow. Screwed was so much fun to watch. I love that. Stick with Miss... Oh my gosh, well, I can't remember her last name. Stick with Mrs. Remember everybody else. Croc. Yeah. Stick with Miss Croc. Yeah, stick with Miss Croc and you'll get ahead. Man, it wasn't stick with Miss Croc and you'll get ahead. It was stick with Miss Croc and you'll get head. I don't want to give any spoilers out, but basically, like, she treated him like trash for his whole life as a servant or a butler, and then found out it was because his dad was sleeping with her, with this lady, and he never gave her that service, so she was always mean. What a trip. To be compared to your own father sexually. That sounds god awful. Ugh. Yikes. Ugh. That old Will Ferrell. Yikes. It's so... we misplaced your baby. It's fun. Anyway, Screwed got a 9.5 out of 10. So if you've never seen it, I doubt you'll hate it. It's Danny DeVito as a morgue operator. Norm Macdonald is a butler. And Dave Chappelle runs a fried chicken stand. And there's this cop. Like the coppiest cop who ever copped cops. It's like, yeah, you're telling me I don't think someone's right about this case. And if I find someone's up with you. He's just this... He's like the Joker and the Penguin combined. It's so much fun. Okay, so now let's go back full circle. I get into this nuclear radioactive waste that is the Fallout series that I binged watched in the last 24 hours. I started it. I heard about it last night. And then I started it. And by golly, I could not put it down. It was so much fun. I didn't really have to hold it at any time. It was on my TV. If I had to hold the TV, I would have put it down probably on the second episode. No, real deal though. It was super fun. It was great. You got to kind of follow like pretty much three different storylines, and they're all sort of taking place in their own regard. And it's one of those sort of like, oh, right when it gets big, it cuts back, but you get back to it and you keep going. And it was a really fun rise and fall, just like, nuclear activity after a bomb. It rises and it falls. That's what they call it, a fallout. That's the show. I actually learned a lot about nuclear radiation and bunkers. And last week, I was talking about unconventional items that you would like to have in your bunker. And I realized that I never answered the question for myself. And I think I would like a pink flamingo. I'd like one of those nice little pink flamingos out in front of my yard or my door to kind of give me this ambiance of like, yeah, I remember those things used to be here. Or maybe a pinwheel, and then I could establish some kind of bicycle with, instead of wheels, it would have like an oar for a boat, but a bunch of those, like the bicycle that SpongeBob uses. And I would use that. And then it would blow at the pinwheel, and I could give the illusion of wind inside of my little bunker. And also, I don't watch pornography, and I don't partake in that at all. However, I might change my mind if I go into a bunker, and I could at least have a tangible pair of whatever at my disposal, even if it was paper thin. Be kind of cool. There is something nice about looking at, a naked lady. Like, by golly, women are awesome. They're the best. So cool. I don't know. I'm just me. It's kind of fun being straight, being a dude. I mean, on Bumble, I got $700 last month for being straight and being a dude and being white, which is against the grain right now. Society wants me to lose at everything I do. However, class action lawsuit lawyers were like, hey, you earn this, buddy. Oh my gosh, yeah, Bumble turned off the pussy button. And I said, hey, that's not fair.
I know that it's look, not only is it the color of my skin, but I'm ugly too. And you better keep that in mind. It's all good. I'm just trying to stay positive and not get canceled. Really not even get canceled, just demonetized. I don't even know what really classifies as demonetization. I've already touched so many subjects on this podcast, and I have literally no idea what I'm doing. These are the ramblings of an early 30-year-old. You know, if you go back and watch my videos, it all starts back when I was 23, 4, something like that. And it's kind of fun to go back and just see my life in this retroactive timescape. I can go back and just click on an episode and realize, like, hey, that was my existence on Earth at a certain point in time. It's all tangible with a few clicks of a few buttons. Speaking of a few clicks of a few buttons, if you would like to support the podcast, please go ahead and do that below. I literally say this every week, and no one has done it for months. However, there's a Venmo and a Cash App and a Patreon. And if you subscribe to our Patreon, you'll get exclusive access to behind the scenes content that you otherwise would not be able to get here on YouTube. And with that being said, thank you so much for supporting the Galactic Seabass channel. My name is Sebastian, and I really appreciate you guys being here and taking the time to go ahead and check out these videos. Most likely nobody's watching because it's super early in the morning and I'm just sort of going on the Bill Burr route right now. It's sort of a fun tongue twister. And I'm not done talking about Fallout. By golly, there's more to say. Like, if you go watch the show, the cast is pretty specific as far as most of the main people go. However, there's one character. He's the brother of the sister. You know, like the main. There's one main little family that goes into this thing. And that young man, excuse me, played Rico. Rico. I can't roll my R's. On Hannah Montana back in the day. And it's just so nice to know that dude is just out there putting in the work and just making it happen. So it's pretty cool. Happy to know that we're out here, we're doing this, and we are live, baby. It is now 4:30 in the morning here on Friday, April 19th, which means that tomorrow is 420. Happy 420, early, oh my gosh, I'm tired. Happy early 420 to all my friends out there who celebrate this monumentous holiday. I remember living in Wyoming when I read the reports about Boulder harassing the students that organized that first Grass Hill rally or whatever, little pep rally thing that sort of started the whole 420 movement. I know there's all kinds of sort of theories about what is the reasoning behind this holiday. However, I, for one, will not forget moving away. I was in Wyoming. I moved to South Dakota. Now, in Cheyenne, we were about 40 minutes from the border. Then I went to Fort Collins, then another 40 minutes, and you were in Denver. And I moved a week, 1 week, before they legalized, I believe it was medicinal cannabis. It might have even been recreational. I don't know. However, that was a shot in the heart because I moved to South Dakota and I had to resort to paying $20 a G. And it wasn't very good. But you know, it's one of those things. So when I first showed up here, I remember giving a dude $70 and he brought back a cookie a piece and 10 G's. And I thought, oh my gosh, I made it. This is it. This is California. And life has sort of flown by since then because that was about 11 years ago. And boy, oh boy, sometimes, do you ever wonder if when you die, you can ask a question in this vast, ethereal book of knowledge and just super crazy questions? Like, if I
if all the feet I walk together were one distance, how long would it be? Sometimes I think to myself, how much cannabis have I ingested over the course of a lifetime? It'd be a lot. Oh, it'd be a lot. Oh man, it'd be like if a hog had a vest made of magnets on and ran through a field of haystacks. Wait, damn. I was trying to do a little Theo thing there. I lost my track. Be like if a hog had a vest made of magnets on and ran through a pile of nails. Hey Riley, go ahead and pull up that pile of nails down in Nashville. How's my Theo? Pretty good? Whatever. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm very sleepy. Oh my gosh, I just realized I've had so much coffee since I started this thing. I've surpassed the realm of what's visible in the fridge. I really like coffee. This is definitely not coffee. Cheers. There's no plans because it's 4 in the morning. However, we're here. We're doing this. Oh my gosh, this is my 400th video on YouTube. 400 videos, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's so many videos. It takes so much effort to like take a video on your phone and then end it and then upload it and give it a caption and a description and tag it and put a thumbnail and blah. I've done it so many times for so many different reasons. We've made how-to videos. We've made festival documentaries. We've made regular documentaries. We've made regular vlogs. We've made unboxing videos. We've made music covers. We have a podcast. We have... I don't know, man. I like making stuff. And that's all I've ever really been good at. Whether it was making my bike do a trick or making a song out of words and sounds, and or making a video or making somebody laugh or making a painting. Just like making stuff. So thank you so much for being here while we make this video. Episode 51 of the Galactic Seabass Podcast. That is so crazy because I've gone over this so many times, but 90% of podcasts don't make it past episode 3. And then the next 90% out of that 10% don't make it past episode 21. So episode 21 was 30 episodes ago. And I just really appreciate you being here. And by you, I don't really mean anybody right now in this moment where I exist. However, in the future, if you're watching this, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's pretty cool. Just putting my existence out on the internet until one day I perish just like every other human. And that's the inevitability that we all face. So for now, I'm just here giving you the little spiel of who I am as a person and what we're doing here on planet Earth. There's actually a person watching right now, which is insane. So thank you so much to you for whoever you are for tuning in. This is not going very much further, to be honest. We were supposed to do a podcast with a very special guest earlier today, and I wrote down a lot of stuff that I wanted to go over. However, they are not here, and I don't really want to ask these questions to myself because that's ridiculous. So we might just go ahead and just skim this over and see if we have anything. You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about a comedy Rushmore, because that's something that I wanted to talk about with my friend when they come over next time. Now, comedy has been one of those things that has been with me for a long time, from the very beginning. I love laughing. My earliest memories, I just love things that make me laugh. You know, trains, planes, and automobiles, and Sheep by the Dozen, and 50 First Dates and Waterboy and Beverly Hills Ninja and I mean Coming to America. I just like laughing. I just love stuff that made me laugh, you know. And then it became a stand up over time. I just realized that's sort of like this different basis of entertainment where you can go out and just preach sort of in a way that is the sole proprietary. The core of it is to produce laughter and like to change emotion and mood into a good happy vibe. And so I think I nailed it down to my first tier because I couldn't figure like if I had to put my Rushmore up, that's 4 humans. I can't do that. I need like at least 12. So tier number 1, I think it'd be Patrice O'Neill, George Carlin, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, and Norm Macdonald. And then Adam Sandler, Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy. I wrote all these down. That would really make this so much more easy. But no, I want to just remember. Joe Rogan, Jim Gaffigan, Maria Bamford, Taylor Tomlinson, Casey Rocket, Sam Morril, Mark Normand, Shane Gillis. They all made me laugh. Maybe I can do that for somebody one day. Be a, just that guy who made him giggle at one point. Enough where they're like, oh, I remember that guy. Nobody's really branded the name Seabass. There's a lot of Sebastians out there, and a lot of us go by Seabass. So, it's just a matter of time for who takes that, title home. So, with your help here on this channel, it could be me. Thanks for being here, everybody. I really appreciate you. Also, last week, we lost about 15 minutes of audio with Corey. I'm so sorry about that. We'll try to avoid that in the future for disruptions. However, thank you so much for being here and being a part of this episode here today. We are reaching the latter end, everybody. This is one hell of an endeavor. However, maybe it's late enough where the sun might pop out. I could take my little boy for a little rolly stroll. Might be a little far off from that. I do like to skate with my dog, though. Oh, it's so much fun. Go ahead and check his TikTok for more videos of that, and Instagram at Andy Ollie TV. ANDYOLLIE TV. So that is their social media. I am not very good at social media, however, I do it on many different regards. I've done it for me and myself and my music and my podcast and my comedy and my art and my photos, and I made memes and I have theirs, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing. However, hey, we're out there doing this. My brother turned 22 on, oh my gosh, what day was it? Wednesday? Tuesday? Happy birthday, Max. Happy 22nd birthday. Last year I went to the Bahamas. It was so much fun. It was crazy. Just going over all these old photos and videos. It's crazy how time flies after, you get out of high school. Just, I feel like it's so slow at that point in life. And then all of a sudden it's just, you're flying. You're on a path and, you wake up one day and a year passed. And just, oh snap, this is like a whole new level of existence and where we are. It's one of those things, man. Hey, pura vida. To life, baby. Speaking of life, 2/3 of your life are spent awake and the other third is spent sleeping. And that's what I would like to do. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Galactic Seabass channel. My name is Sebastian, your host now, forever, and always. Some of my pals, they call me Seabass, and you're more than welcome to as well. If you have any questions, comments, or anything you'd like to drop, go ahead and do that in the comments below.
If you have something more personal you'd like to talk to me about, go ahead and send that an email to galacticseabass@gmail.com. I do appreciate you tuning in here today. Check out this episode. I know I'm a little bit sleep deprived and we have a lot to do this week. I am a rideshare driver and this is wild challenge. It says so. Let's see. It's 4:46 in about 14 minutes. It'll be 5 a.m. and then I have 72 hours to give 60 rides to fellow humans around the city. Now, you're allowed to work for 12 hours a pop. That's 36 hours. So that's 60 rides in 36 hours, which is, 1 point something per hour. Basically 6 hours off, 2 hours, two rides an hour. If I give a ride to somebody and it's a 45-minute ride up the highway, that's the equivalent of doing a ride to somebody who's 3 blocks away. So the goal is quantity over quality at that point. However, the money drops significantly when you don't do those big rides. You only make 35%. So on average, you're making $3 a ride. So if I don't meet that quota, then I did all these little rides. I didn't make that money. And I missed out on that big opportunity. Like this week, I was supposed to do 50 rides. And I got 19. It's just, I try. I do what I can. So again, seriously, if you would like to support the podcast, every little bit helps a long way. There's a Venmo, a Cashapp, and a Patreon down below. If you'd like to help, I'd really appreciate it. Everything you send goes directly to helping this thing sustain itself and try to grow. I'd really like to get my dad's drum set back. I will get my dad's drum set back, 100%. And just appreciate you tuning in. I have a lot to go over and consider for tomorrow. So thank you very, very much for tuning in to this episode. Let's go ahead and kick back. Try to undo this lady's shirt because the buttons are on the wrong side, so I'm not used to doing it in this fashion. But at this point, I already started it. Ah, yeah, that looks smooth. If I just didn't say anything, I would have looked pretty cool. This is the Galactic Seabass channel. And the light turned off. So many things happened at once. Let's go ahead and fix this thing. That's so cool, that's me. I did a show and some guy drew me. What a trip. Rock and roll. Hey, my name is Sebastian. They call me Seabass. That's Ollie right here. Hey, bud. Love you. And Andy is asleep in the bedroom. Those are my roommates. So, if you'd like to support us in our crazy... Did you know that San Diego was recently voted the most expensive city in the United States of America? So your boy made one heck of a call moving here. I feel a burp coming on. Give me 1 second, please. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Rock and roll. Those are the sleepy bugs taking over the old choo-choo train of existence. Anyway, I am very bad with goodbyes, as many of you know. So thank you so much for being here today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever time it is, whether it's morning, evening, noon, or night. Hope that you end up living it right. And I do appreciate you being here today. If you want to support us, go ahead and do that. There's also a like, share, subscribe button. Go ahead and click the YouTube stuff. Thanks for being here. You should see me when I drive away from my mom at the holidays. I say goodbye 800 times and lean out the window. I'm basically driving without looking forward. So every time I end this, I don't really know how to do it. And it's very awkward. So we're just sort of writing this out together. Anyway, I appreciate you being here today. And I wish you the best of luck in all your endeavors in this life. I really hope things work out in the greatest possible formations that they can. In whatever path you take along this crazy life that we all share here on planet Earth. And man, there's so many things coming out nowadays. Fallout and Civil War and that movie about, is something going to happen? So just be out there and look out for each other and just realize like humanity as a core has made it this far. And although it's merely a blip in the grand existence of the universe, we are here all together. And together there's really nothing that we can't achieve. So go ahead and support your fellow human. And down with the lizard people. Thanks for watching the Galactic Seabass Podcast. This was fun. My name's Sebastian, and they call me Seabass. And I hope you have a great day. Or night, or whatever. Anyway. Hasta luego, y buena suerte. Luego. I'm so bad at goodbyes. Just get up and just turn the camera off. Okay, I'm doing this. Okay. You can do this. You guys into little feet? Okay. Goodbye. Skidoo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. Last thing I have to say, end transmission. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Skidoo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.